Hi, it's me again, David. I've called this piece The Great Gumdrop Robbery. Let's have a little chat about it and about how these images end up on the canvas in the first place. So, whenever I visit places that still hold their Victorian character, especially places like Liverpool, something sort of happens. I don't just go there looking for images to paint. Well, I do, but it's more that the places end up telling me what to paint. So you can stand in front of some old warehouse or dock road or whatever, and you sort of feel the present within the past. Yeah, the present within the past, almost as if the two sort of folded together. And that's often when ideas start to form. And these two lads didn't appear out of nowhere. They first turned up in an earlier piece I'd done, which was of two Victorian era boys stood outside a sweet shop, and they appeared to be hatching out some kind of plan. So when I started this new piece, the story seemed to pick up right from where they left off. Same two lads, just a slightly bigger scheme. And that's how this painting unfolded. You sort of get a simple idea. Two boys standing outside a sweet shop, and before you know it, they're tearing down the street with their ill-gotten gains. I didn't really set out to create a series based around these two boys, but that earlier painting sort of made the decision for me, and I just followed along. Trip to Liverpool, a look at the old pubs and the surviving cobbled streets, and before long you've invented a world where these two little miscreants can carry out their terrible deeds. They're taking more than a chance here. If they're caught, they more than likely face harsh penalties, picking oakum, breaking rocks in the prison yard. Might even be sent to Australia if the judge was feeling particularly nasty, or hopefully they'll get someone more lenient. I'll let you decide their fate. So with a painting like this, the street and the structures tend to sort of build themselves as you go along. And even though I mention Liverpool a lot, it isn't really an image of Liverpool. The sweet shop on the left is closer to something you might see in Haworth in Yorkshire. And the fruit stall on the right, that's more like the Barrow Boys I remember seeing in Manchester when I was younger. But the buildings aren't really the point, they're just there to sort of keep things together. Be a backdrop for these two lads making their dash through the picture. I'm just trying to catch a mood, an atmosphere. The gas lamps that I often add to these paintings, the dusky sky, the low winter light, they hint at the season, the time of day, the chill in the air. All of it kind of working quietly behind the scene and not shouting out for attention. So as the painting starts to take shape, the boys begin to find their expressions. And I never really quite know what they're going to look like until sort of the last moment. And I chopped and changed them throughout the painting. The lad on the right was too big at one point, and I didn't realise it until I started adding the colour. And it happens a lot. I'll draw something and think, yeah, that looks okay, that'll be alright. And when I put the colour down, it's like, ugh, no, I think that's wrong. So, you add a shadow here, lighten something there, and hopefully you'll end up with a personality. And it always seems to work out this way, no matter what preparation or sketches I do beforehand. The shopkeeper on the left, well, he's not there yet, but he will be shortly. But I really struggled to get him in the scene and get the sizing right, and yeah, I just had to sort of keep trying until I got somewhere with him. And he ended up being quite a major player in the scene. I thought he'd be just more of an extra in the background. But yeah, eventually the colours and the drawing start to come together. The cobbles, the winter haze, just the general feel of a Victorian street. And I just try and bring it across as best as I can. So I've messed about with this painting for quite some time. It's taken far longer than I expected. I've added things, taken things out, changed colours, changed faces, all sorts of stuff. But there does come a point where you've got to say, that's done, pull yourself away from it. Otherwise you'd be there forever. And I'm fairly happy with the way it's turned out. And the characters are all there playing their roles. And in the end, it's not really all about a stolen jar of sweets. It's more about trying to bring to life a scene from, let's say 150 years ago, but one that still feels etched into the streets and the buildings of our towns and cities. It's almost a way of bringing the ghosts back, whether they existed or not, and letting them walk through our timeline for a moment. So let's not take it all too seriously. Just enjoy the idea of these people stepping back into the light, even if it's only in our imagination. People sometimes ask why I spend so much time painting Victorian scenes. Why not something more modern, something more abstract maybe? But the truth is, I don't really feel modern life in the same way. I like Victorian scenes. I like surviving Victorian structures, streets, what have you. And these older streets and buildings, all these moments lost in time, they speak to me and give me the inspiration to paint, to imagine the scenes and create stories. They let me spend a bit of time in a world that isn't here anymore. So, there you have it. The Great Gumdrop Robbery. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll be back with another painting soon. Thank you.